for Johns.
Suns Lakers is the second game here on ABC, and Luka gives everyone buckets, but there aren't many teams he scorches quite like the Suns. Only Michael Jordan has a higher all-time career scoring average against Phoenix, and Luka can match an NBA record with his 7th straight 30-point game against KD and company today. Now, the Lakers, they're going to be in need of some Luka magic to turn things around here. They've lost 4 straight games since LeBron James suffered a groin injury Saturday in Boston. They've now tumbled from 2nd to 5th in the West in just a week span. It's a good thing we have our senior NBA insider, Shams Charania, here with the latest. Shams, what is the latest on LeBron's groin injury and his timeline to return?
Malika, I'm told LeBron James is actually having his first workout since that groin strain last weekend. He's having his first on-court workout in Los Angeles here today. He is expected, as we see right there, he is expected, though, to miss at least another week. His exact return will be based on how his body responds to increased activity here over the coming days and the coming week. The Lakers and James will be very cautious. He's 40 years old. This is a soft tissue injury. We know he's played heavy minutes this season. He's coming off the Olympics, so look for him to miss at least another week of game action. But the Lakers are getting some players back. Jackson Hayes, their starting center, I'm told he will make his return to the lineup tonight after missing a few games with a knee contusion. And Rui Hachimura has been out 8 consecutive games with a knee injury. I'm told there's optimism he's going to be back here within the week.
Okay, within the week for Rui and Jackson Hayes. We know Luka loves that lob threat. Really important to get him back here. Shams, thank you so very much. Let's remember the Lakers, they're 3-4 on the season without LeBron James this year, and he's out at least another week, which means that at a minimum, he will miss the next 5 games for the Lakers, who are in the middle of a really tough part of the schedule where they're the only team to play 6 games in 8 days all season long. Now, LA lost the first 2 games of that stretch. It included that really hard-fought defeat to the Nuggets on Friday. There are no moral victories, but if there was, that could have been one, because, man, that was a game. But, Stephen A., as you're looking towards the last 5 weeks of the regular season here, what is the most important thing for the Lakers as they march towards the playoffs?
Honestly speaking, health. What I've seen from LeBron, understand this, LeBron James is an MVP candidate the way that he has played this year. Luka Doncic has stepped up, and he's getting himself together. They haven't had Rui Hachimura, okay? And so he's missed about 7 or 8 straight games. I'm looking at the Los Angeles Lakers, and I literally, outside of Oklahoma City, I literally have minimal to zero concern as long as they're healthy. The issue is their health. If you're not healthy, if something happens to either one of them, LeBron or Luka, the Lakers are in trouble. But as long as both of them are on the court together, there's no one outside of Oklahoma City, in my eyes, in the Western Conference that they can't beat.
Just a reminder, this is LeBron James in his first workouts since that groin injury on Saturday moments ago across the street at Crypto.com Arena.
Yeah, look, good, that's fantastic news for the Lakers, just that he's out there, because that tells you, like Shams said, he's probably a week away. If he's not even playing basketball or doing that right now, then you're looking at probably more time. But that schedule, Malika, is brutal. I mean, 6 games in 8 days and 4 in the next 5. So if you're them, you go, we got to go 500 at least, because then you go 1-3. You're dropping to that play-in range, and some would say that doesn't matter. I would say you don't want to see Minnesota in a play-in. You don't want to see the Warriors in a play-in. You don't want to see Memphis or Denver in a play-in. Now, even if you lose, you maybe get Sac, maybe get Phoenix, but those things, one sprained ankle and you're out, your season's over. So, yes, I want to see the Lakers healthy, and yes, Stephen A., if they are healthy, and you're looking at that right there, you're looking at those standings, you say with LeBron and Luka, they're going to be a problem, right? Because in many series, they'll have the best 2 players on the floor. Not 1, but 2, and 2 that have competed at the highest level. So I like to see them healthy. Stephen A., Perk, we were talking about during the break. I wish Dallas was healthy with Kyrie and AD. I honestly wish Phoenix, who we're going to see later, was playing better so they could be in the playoffs with their star power. But for this Lakers team, they're in a little bit of a spot here. They got to find their way out of it.
They're comfortable. They're comfortable in the play-in. History tells us that, right? With LeBron James, the Lakers are comfortable. If he's in the play-in, he's getting into the postseason, which makes me agree with Stephen A. that they're the 2nd-best team in the Western Conference. Do I believe in the Memphis Grizzlies? I don't. Do I believe in the Denver Nuggets, and especially after they just took an L to the Washington Wizards last night? Hell no. I believe in the Los Angeles Lakers to be the second-best team in the Western Conference. I think when you add LeBron James, who not only is in the MVP conversation, is in the best player in the world conversation, back to the mix, he does so much and has unlocked, again, Luka has unlocked a different version of LeBron.
Let's also remember this. In the month of March, the second leading scorer in the NBA is Luka Doncic.
Yep.
He's averaging 32 a game on 43% shooting from three-point range. This dude that could have hit the backside of a barn from three, okay, or you know, for the first few weeks or so, this brother is coming on strong. I'm not worried about the Los Angeles Lakers one bit as long as they're healthy.
So they face Phoenix in this game today, and they're shorthanded, even though they are getting Jackson Hayes back. What's the key? Because Phoenix, they got nothing to lose here.
Well, yeah. I just can't believe Phoenix. I know we're not talking about it, but it's such a disappointing
6-14 since February 1st.
It's literally, I just have a hard time, but we're not talking. The question wasn't about Phoenix. Lakers, look, Luka's still acclimating. You know, you get Rui back. This is a chance for Luka to put the team on his back a little bit. Home game, get the win, and get back on track. They have been stumbling, right?
Yeah.
Lost a few in a row. So
I just want to say this. I know we're not talking about Phoenix, but damn it, I'm going to for a second. There needs to be an investigation at some point as to why these dudes have been this subpar. I don't know what the hell is going on from a basketball perspective. To look at the Phoenix Suns and to see their record and their struggles, it makes no sense to any basketball mind out there how they have looked this bad.
Well,
I need an investigation.
Are going to get a
private investigation.
look,
Investigation.
Not at your investigation, but at the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Lakers. And then we also may...
Presented by Papa John's.
Not one, not two, not three, but 16 straight wins for the Cavaliers. A streak longer than any player has led the team to. Yes, that includes LeBron James. This is the longest winning streak in franchise history. And as the Cavaliers go for a 17th win tonight, look at me. I'm surrounded by winners. Kendrick Perkins, he rattled off 19 straight wins for the Boston Celtics.
Did I?
Bob Myers, he oversaw the second longest winning streak in NBA history. And Stephen A. Smith, don't even get me starting on the winning streak that Stephen A. is on, especially the ratings over at First Take. Y'all seen them? All right. With all of that, we're quite the pair. Let's take a look at today's Impact Pairings brought to you by Papa John's. Because aside from maybe, I don't know, pepperoni and cheese, nothing goes together like W's in the Cavaliers. They're on their second win streak of at least 15 games this season, putting them in rare company. They're the sixth team in NBA history to record multiple streaks of at least 15 games in a single season. And during this recent run, they won 16 consecutive games and scored 105 points in each victory. The only team to have a longer streak in NBA history is the 71-72 Lakers, who won the title. And putting all of this winning together has the Cavaliers on pace to win 69 games this year, the only team to ever win that many games in a season in league history. The Lakers in 71-72, the Bulls in 95-96 and 96-97. And then Bob Myers, your Golden State Warriors, of course, in 2015-16. Your record of 73 wins, Bob, it is firmly intact here. But when the Cavaliers are putting together win streaks like this, what's the feeling inside a locker room?
Well, if you haven't won a championship, that's the feeling. The feeling is we're one of the best teams in the league, and we think we're going to win a championship. And they haven't done it yet, Malika. And so that's the overriding feeling, is we're building towards something that hopefully for them culminates in a championship. If you've already won, you're just trying to win it again. But I will say this, these regular season stories are fantastic. This is a great story. I don't think any of us had Cleveland doing what they're doing right now. I certainly didn't. The sad truth is, when you reference that season of the Warriors of 2016, 73-9, I don't think that's ever going to be broken, by the way. We can argue about that at a different time. Just the way the regular season's played, health, all those reasons, I think that record will stand. The problem is, what would Stephen A., you or Perk call that season? We didn't win the championship. What would you call that? How would you define that season?
Well, some people defined it as a failure.
Right. That's where I'm going.
Close the deal.
That's right.
I didn't feel that way about you.
But a lot of people did, right?
Yeah.
A decent chunk.
I looked at the stimulus package given by the NBA to LeBron James in that one. That's how I feel.
Okay.
About it.
But the point is that a lot of people did, and that's the world we live in. So if this Cavs team doesn't do it, this will be a little asterisk, 69, 70 win team. And the story will be, Malika, a great regular season team, historically great, that didn't win the championship.
Right.
Here's my thought process. When I think you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, I've been raving about them for weeks, thinking they're the #1 threat to the Boston Celtics. But clearly, the Boston Celtics are the prohibitive favorite. Everybody that looks at the NBA, they see the reigning defending NBA champions, and that's the difference. When the Golden State Warriors were en route to that 73-win season, they were the favorites. We looked at them as the juggernaut that needed to be knocked off, okay? But they were the favorites. Even with the success Cleveland has had, even with them having a clear lead within the Eastern Conference and Boston in the second position, everyone still looks at Boston as the team to beat. So it's not to say that it wouldn't be a failure per se, because when you have that kind of success, you got to close the deal. But even with that being said, we still look at the Boston Celtics.
Can I ask you a question? I know why do you think we do that? Because the Celtics won, or we just think they're better?
We think combination of both and experience.
Okay.
You know, until you do it, you got, especially when that champion is lurking right there. One thing if they fell off the map and they like
they're still there.
Well, Boston's just lurking, saying, we'll wait till the
Largely the same team returning as well.
Yeah, I mean, and look, the difference is between the Celtics and the Cavs is that, one, the experience, but two, you look at their big three and look at the Celtics' big three. Kristaps Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and then I just feel like that those guys are better, right? I just feel like those three guys are better. But that's not the only team. The Celtics are not the only team that's above the Cavs right now that's favored to win.
Sure.
OKC is too.
Yeah.
Damn it so much that they had JB Bickerstaff crying last night. So many tears. I said, damn, you doing all that crying, what the babies go do? What the babies go do? And when you, what?
I'm just saying, why are the Lakers the 5th best?
Because they are. We'll get to that later in the show. But here's the thing. When you look at Oklahoma City, who, by the way, are 23-1 versus the Eastern Conference, right? They have every coach and team complaining. Didn't Wendy come on First Take saying, oh, yeah, teams, they respect them, but they don't fear them, right? Didn't they say that? They was lying.
That's what Wendy said.
They was telling lies because this team physicality, they make you get uncomfortable, top to bottom. No drop-off whatsoever. Chet Holmgren is finally back. They have the best perimeter player in basketball, who, by the way, is going to go win the MVP. And I don't want to hear about, Shea, he's foul baiting because he does an excellent job at getting to the free throw line because Stephen A., Bob, Malika. No one was saying that when Jordan was getting to the free throw line. No one was saying that when Kobe was getting to the free throw line. No one was saying when Paul Pierce was getting to the free throw line. The Thunder are legit. They're the second-best team in the NBA, in my opinion, and should be second to favor.
Listen, they could be seen as second, and I don't have a problem with that. But, you know, they did go against Cleveland this year, and when you look at that's the best game of the year. That's the best game of the year. And so I don't have a problem with some people looking at Cleveland and saying, well, you know, Cleveland could take OKC. It's a toss-up between those two. But nobody is saying that about Cleveland against Boston. Right. And Boston is within the Eastern Conference. So it's one thing for Golden State win 73 games and lose in the finals. It's another thing to win the way Cleveland is winning and don't get to the finals.
Sure.
That's what they got to be worried about.
So can we take a step back for 1 second here? Because the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think we've talked a lot about what makes Oklahoma City so formidable, what makes them so good. And certainly their defense has been a huge part of that all season long. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they could win their 17th straight game today. They've done that the last 2 games without Donovan Mitchell. What makes this team so potent?
Yeah, I thought about that because if you look at their roster, Malika, part of the reason they don't get the accolades is besides Donovan Mitchell, and even him, you know, playing, we're not talking about him as the MVP. We're not talking about him in the same way we do, and I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, but he doesn't get a lot of attention, Donovan Mitchell, for being on a team with the best. He is a superstar, but I still would say we don't talk about him as much as we talk about a lot of other guys. And let me finish. So what is it about this team, right? So you say, okay, Mitchell's great, but then you go Darius Garland. He's a really nice player. He's an all-star, but you don't talk about him like Jaylen Brown. You don't talk about him some of these other guys. Even Jalen Williams gets a lot from Oklahoma City. I think it's the size. I think it's Allen and Mobley. And they're shooting. So if you look at shooting, the combination, Malika, of shooting and size with this Cleveland team, you play a team like that in the playoffs, they can play fast, they can play slow, they can guard. They got the best offense in the league by far. So those are the things I think that make them special.
I think it's the word sacrifice. right? How many times in a post-game interview we done seen it's been a collective of guys, whether it's Garland, Mobley, Ty Jerome, like those guys are all in. That's the true definition of losing yourself in
They haven't lost with Hunter in the lineup.
They're not jealous of each other's success, and they have a bigger goal at hand.
Guys, they're first in offensive efficiency. They're first in three-point shooting, okay? They're second in field goal percentage shooting. So you look at it from that standpoint. They got 10 different dudes averaging at least 19 minutes a game. They defend. They'll block shots. They rebound, especially when you pick up DeAndre Hunter, who they're undefeated with since he arrived. And, oh, by the way, he's the best three-point shooter in the league since, the trade deadline. This brother is doing some things. And so you could look at the combination of size along with Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland resurrecting himself after a subpar season last year, the coaching of Kenny Atkinson. And then you look at Boston. Porzingis hasn't been out. You're confident that he'll come back and do his thing, but who knows? That's what makes it interesting.
This team is tailor-made to go toe